Hi guys, how are you today? I hope you've been well. I have been too. Need to adjust my coat. Ish. Yeah, you're not even ready. Today I'm wearing a suit, eh? I'm in business. Anyway, I hope you guys have been well and I've been so well. I feel like this season is so full of surprises because there's so much sunshine today, eh? It's not cold at all. Like I've been outside. I was planning to leave and I wanted to wear an overcoat, and then I was like, "Hiya, hakuna baridi at all. I can survive with a light coat." Anyway, so as the topic suggests, today we are talking about fear, and especially fear because of experiences you've been through or things you've seen, and where time, age inaweza weka fear ndani yako. I'm thinking about all the things I have seen in all my over 40 years. Yeah, I'm closer to the middle number than I was. So in all my years I have seen, and I think at my age I'm at the place where you look back over your life, over your family's life, your aunties, your parents. Yeah, you look back over your grandparents' lives, unangalia the generations behind, and you're wondering, who am I, where am I at, and where am I headed? No matter what you've achieved, no matter how well you've planned your life, there comes a time where you're thinking, hey, with everything that I've seen, with everything that is out here, I feel afraid. And mostly it's usually a fear of failure. When you think sometimes you haven't achieved everything you thought you would achieve, things have not gone according to your grand plan, and you're right there, like wondering, are things going to be okay? Am I going to be safe? And last time we talked about trusting and obeying God, obeying his call, obeying his voice, even sometimes when it doesn't make sense. Sometimes you're not even sure you heard what he said, you know, and or perhaps he said something, you knew what he said, you were following it, you were passionate about it, and then now the passion starts running out because nothing is happening as it should. And you look around and think, why would it work for me when it didn't work for the rest? If I was to talk to a family like mine today, yeah, and perhaps we're discussing all the events of the past, and I love talking to some members of my family because no matter what you say, they're like, but we are better off than before. And you're like, you guys don't see the hard times, you don't see the hard things, you don't see all these challenges. And they're like, my God, we've gone through worse. We've gone through worse, and here we are, we just see God's hand. And when you look at the circumstances, you're like, can I even really believe? Because your dreams, your visions are scary to you, and you're thinking, will I even make it? Will I even get there? And looking back at Joseph, or looking into the story of Joseph, and the way this guy was just chosen to redeem his family, and he must have at one point thought, Rekegwe, I'd rather die than go through this, all the false accusations, all the hatred that he had seen. And I think, oh my God, it makes so much sense that God never tells us what he's going to do in our lives, or in the lives of the people, because it's not always about you. The way he's using you today, or the position he's put you in, could be such a coveted position, but because you're the wearer of the shoe, it pinches, and you're like, I cannot even carry anyone else. And then you realize it's not even about me. I was put in this position and I was equipped for this because the Lord knows what he's doing for other people through me. I don't know if we've covered the subject of vessels from 2 Timothy 22 and 20. You find that God uses people as vessels, and it says in a household there are vessels of many kinds. Some are precious, some are just regular. But when you repent, you're used as a more valuable vessel. I'm really paraphrasing. Just go into 2 Timothy 2 and 20 and read this. So you realize, even you as a person, if you consider yourself as a vessel, there are times you used to be used as a vessel of dishonor. Ulikuwa kama plastic, let's say. Maybe we're just a plastic cup or a wooden thing, you know. And then as you progress, as you follow a certain path that you have been led into, even though sometimes we don't feel like we are led, we feel like we bumped into something, yeah? You follow this, you stick to it, and you find that you have risen over some paddles, over some levels, over some steps, and you become a vessel, perhaps of honor, or just used better. You understand? Like you're happy about your position. But because it pinches, because the shoe pinches, because it is difficult to imagine, especially if you've been through a difficult journey and you're wondering, where am I going? Do you know there's so many people, especially in this abroad journey, yeah? You've done a journey like mine. And if you don't know my story, you can check in the previous posts, in the previous videos, yeah? You've done a very difficult journey and you're so hopeful that in this land, if I ever reach this America, if I ever reach this Canada, if I ever reach this Europe, that is where life will be smooth. And then you reach here, especially if you're not a baby, if you're not young, and it just pushes you to the extremes. And you realize, like now that I've been to Kenya, I realize the very initial feelings that I felt once I arrived in Canada, it's like I was on a higher level and I could look down and understand so much that I never used to. You realize that is actually true. While you were doing life, you actually forgot those things that you initially saw. But it's a higher level. And until sometimes, I think, until you go back home, I don't know how I can express this so that you understand that I'm not belittling Kenya. It's not that kind of a level. I'm talking about a spiritual kind of a level or an elevation, such that you look back and realize, kumbe, I'm not just ordinary. I didn't come here because of shida. I didn't come here because I was suffering and God wanted to give me an income. I came here to be used in this and this way. And then you look back, especially at your family, because those are the people you're called for. I hope you understand that at this point. And you see, like, even the preachers that we look up to, they are called to help you understand the journey so you can go back and save your people. And once you have opened some doors that were locked for years, for your, were locked in the faces of your family, once you've overcome such things, such challenges, that is when you're even allowed to be a kingdom builder or a kingdom financer, or even, I don't even feel like I'm sharing this with the clarity that it deserves. But what I'm saying is, you're called for your family, and not anyone, not even the closest people to you can stand in the way of that. There is a calling, there is a positioning. Even, like, I don't know if you've ever looked back at people in your family and wondered, because They've gone through so much, some even through addiction, some even lost their lives in the journey to rescuing this family. Yani family yenyu iko na mambo, there's maybe poverty, some are even well off, but there's like stories of drug addiction, alcoholism, uh, just crazy things. And you reach a point where, or you reach a generation where God is like, though these things have happened, though you've gone through these things as a family, I have come to a point where I'm redeeming you now. And though it may look like the things that your people suffered through and didn't break through may repeat again, though it may look like the history is repeating, I will not let you suffer the same things. I am turning things around. It may look like it's going this way, but affliction is not rising a second time. I want somebody to say amen. Affliction is not rising a second time. You may be like so and so. You may be like your grandmother. Yeah? The methods she used, the circumstances she went through do not make sense to anyone. You may even criticize, you know? You may look even at your parent and criticize, like, I would never use her methods. You won't, because you've been built different for such a time as the one you're coming into to rescue the same person. So they may even be hidden. They may even be covered with things that are so unsavory to your spirit, so that you may be awakened and be like, I'm going to Giginyana and be different. I don't know if you're feeling it. So I have come, and this is not like even an exact relation, but I'm reading Psalms. I'm reading Psalms 30. Go there with me. And David had succeeded and failed. And he was coming to God like, what will you benefit if I fail? So you bless me so I can praise you. Yeah? There must have been fear in this guy's life. If you look at the way he was writing, at the things that he was encountering, I look at this guy and the experiences he went through. I look at Joseph and the experiences he went through. I look at even Saul and the experiences he went through. And I'm like, God help us. The journey is so tough. And only the conviction in your heart is what you have to go by sometimes, yeah? I feel like I've come to ambush you. Listen, I had made a different video about a reset. And I reset my house in the way that I wanted. I will even show you here. But something just happened and it's like this video couldn't go up anymore, yeah? But I did that. And now I'm just here to tell you, do not fear. Do not fear. From Isaiah 41:10. Read all of it to the end. From 41 from verse 10 to the end. And I wanted to see this personal experience here, David, and just try to relate with it. And I will read. I will exalt you, Lord, for you rescued me. You refused to let my enemies triumph over me. O Lord, my God, I cried to you for help, and you restored my health. You brought me up from the grave. O Lord, you kept me from falling into the pit of death. Sing to the Lord, O you godly ones. Praise his holy name, for his anger lasts only a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may last through the night, but joy comes with the morning. I tend to imagine that David must have gone through the things we go through personally, in our personal lives, and you're like, nasikia ni kama nakufa. I'm going to die for sure. I cannot take this. My mind cannot take this. You know, but it is only through those tough times that you even draw close to God and realize that bila yeye, I really cannot. When I was prosperous, I said, nothing can stop me now. I know that feeling. Your favor, O Lord, made me as secure as a mountain. Then you turned away from me, and I was shattered. I cried out to you, O Lord. I begged the Lord for mercy, saying, what will you gain if I die? If I sink into the grave, can my dust praise you? Can it tell of your faithfulness? Hear me, Lord, and have mercy on me. Help me, O Lord. You have turned my mourning into joyful dancing. You have taken away my clothes of mourning and clothed me with joy, that I might sing praises to you and not be silent. O Lord my God, I will give you thanks forever. This is a guy who knows what it's like to rise and fall. This is a guy who understands that life, you can be so exalted and you're thinking, okay, from this place that I'm standing, I feel like I'm standing on the rock finally, after all the problems I've been through. So I'm going to take advantage of this and really ride it out and make something of myself. But then here comes another challenge that is threatening to make you fail. And you're like, not again, I cannot. If you've ever tested failure, then you know what that is like. But the Lord knows your life. The Lord knows the beginning to the end. And any time that even you're drawn back, it's because He wants to launch you even further. And I know it is very hard once you've tasted success to just go down again, to go and worry about money again, to go and worry about things again. Yeah. But my message to you today is, do not fear. I feel like I'm talking to somebody who's been through some experiences, or maybe because this is about living abroad and all the journey to get there and all of that. You have ever tried and failed, or you're trying and because of all the stories you've had, you're so scared. I'm telling you today, do not fear. Isaiah 41:10 and to the very end is your portion today, but also read Psalms. A Psalms a day will keep you going. May God bless you and keep you. I feel like I have so much to say, but let me go and enjoy this video. God bless you. God keep you, and please subscribe. I always forget to say, but if if I even end a video without saying, please just subscribe if you haven't, and God will bless you mightily. See you on the next one. Bye bye.